Basic babes, welcome to another episode of Your Basically. So as I said last time, Your Basically is just kind of like we're filling in the blank of a title, a thought, an idea that we might have about ourselves and others. And my beautiful, amazing guests that are coming on will either agree to whatever it is or dispel it and talk about how they have overcome this title in their life. Because you know that at Basic, we are all about busting up standards, titles, ideas that people have put on us that we do not feel relate to who we actually are. So tonight I have an incredible guest, and she is just so amazing, such a superwoman, someone who I truly admire, and I'm just so honored that she's on to talk to us tonight and to share this chapter of her story to inspire us to live basic. So like I said last time, I love gushing over the women in my life. Honestly, I love giving them their roses, but there's something just so powerful to me when a woman, girl, whoever you are, can come on and just tell people who you are for yourself. So, like I've been saying, I want my guests to come on and introduce themselves to you and let you know who they are from their point of view. So tonight we have the beautiful Mrs. Mallory Foxx. Hey, Mallory.
Hello, Shannon. Hey, everyone again.
I'm like, y'all don't even understand how excited I am to have her on. Not only just because of who she is, but when we were talking pre-production, and one of her princesses is there, so she has a co-host.
My shadow.
And we love it. And we love it all the same because we're momming, we're queening, we're businessing, we're doing all the things.
Absolutely.
But before we even got to our conversation in pre-production, when we were just talking about what we were going to discuss, she wrote me and told me, or asked me rather, if we could change the title to what it ultimately is now. And for me, that made me even more excited for this conversation because it just showed me like, okay, this is not just something that I want to talk about. It's not just something that I wanted to bring to a conversation just to talk to her. Like, this is really a God thing. And this is clearly a conversation that needs to be had. So I needed to preface with that because I wanted y'all to know, like, this is something else happening here. Okay. So I want Mallory to introduce herself so you all get to know who she is and what she is about. So Mallory, take it away.
Well, you have me over here just blushing and just smiling from ear to ear. So, hello, everyone. Like Shannon said before, I am Mallory Foxx, Miss Black International Ambassador 2023. I am also a mom, a wife, an entrepreneur, and I am a youth and mentor advocate.
She is all of the things. And you heard she Mrs. Black International Ambassador, honey. So she is a queen. Even without her title, she would still be a queen, right? She
Oh,
is
thank you.
so many incredible things. And I had the privilege to be one of her pageant sisters, although I didn't get to fully go out and compete with her, right? Because when we compete, and we're not going against each other, we're with each other.
Right.
I didn't get the chance to be up on the stage with her, but truly, you can't tell the difference. Like, she still embraces me as a sister, and even me saying
Absolutely.
yes tonight, like, means so much to me. So that's my gush moment. Okay. So you told us about your titles, you know what you do, momming, entrepreneur, all of the things, but you know, who is Mallory? Like, what is her personality? What are her passions? Like, who are you?
Well, I like to think of myself as just someone who likes to have a good time. I am a jokester. I am all of 37 years young, but I love to have a good time. I love to have fun with my children and my family. And I am a reader. That's what I like to do in my spare time. I am a serial entrepreneur. I have a balloon business. It is 3 years old in September. And my husband and I are also opening another business venture that
Ooh.
we're really, really excited about. We're in the very early stages of it. So we're super, super excited about that. But like I said before, I am a youth mentor advocate. That's something that I am truly passionate about. I love youth. I love children. I love to see how they grow up and just make a difference in this world. So that is why I got into the world of advocacy, and I absolutely love it.
I love that. And you could tell just like by the way that you're talking about it, how much you love the youth and want to pour into them and be there for them. And that was something that even when we were preparing for the pageant, I was just like, yes, like she gets it. Cause I also just love the youth. Like no matter what I am doing in this life, when
Right.
youth are involved, I'm energized. I am ready to go, ready to hit the ground running, ready to problem solve. Like it's just not everyone is graced for that, you know?
Yeah.
So when
Oh
you
yeah.
see other people who just gush over being a youth advocate for
Yeah.
showing up for the youth, like not just spending time with them, but fighting for them, is just
Yeah.
it just hits different. Like it just does something for you to see people who are like that. So you're definitely one of those people for me. And like just watching your mentorship grow has been just such an inspiration for me and all of the things that I want to do with the youth. Um, so speaking of the youth, you are in your 30s, a grown diva woman, right?
Yeah.
But we were girls once, even though sometimes our kids that we mentor, and for me, my students, they don't believe that
I don't know why they don't.
because you think I just came here as an adult. I don't understand.
I just skipped everything and just became a 30-year-old
I'm
person.
like, do you not think? I'm like, I have a mom. You have a mom?
My kids do me the same way. They're like, "So who's your mom?" And I'm like, "Oh, my mom is your grandma." But who's that? Well, how does that? Listen, I didn't create the lineage. I'm just a part of it. So
I'm part of it. So I always find that so funny. But thinking back to younger Mallory, of
Mhm.
all the titles and all the things that you do now, what do you think she would be the most proud of? Like, what would she be the most excited about?
I would have to say actually following through with pageantry and finding my voice and finding my lane in the world of pageantry. I didn't grow up doing pageants. I tell people all the time I was not a toddlers and tiaras. I did not start until I was about 16 years old and I was knee deep in trouble.
Mhm.
And that was something that I had the opportunity to really develop and learn over these years and just take it and say, okay, this is what I really like to do. And I feel like I was put in a place where mentorship kind of fell into my lap because
Mhm.
I had a mentor. And my mentor told me in high school, okay, I'm your mentor. You're going to have to do the same for someone else. And when pageantry aligns with platform and it goes, hand in hand, it was just the perfect thing for me because I think again, if I would have never followed through with it, I have no idea where I would be. So I think just young Mallory seeing the new Mallory or the older Mallory be a national title holder and the one that has held various titles, I think she would say bravo. I never would have thought, but bravo.
Well, that's so awesome. And I love that even in you answering that question, focusing on what little Mallory would be proud of, you mentioned having a mentor. So, mentorship is not something that you weren't exposed to. You had a mentor yourself. So,
Mhm.
tell us more about that mentor. What stood out to you about that person, and why were they such a vital piece of your story for you to even mention them now in this conversation?
I think it was just someone who just really cared and someone that was not only always there because I have a caring mom. I have an amazing mom, but I was also brought up in a single family household. So it was hard for my mom to take care of not only myself but my sister as well and be that financial and be that person to take on so many different roles and so many different hats. So I was the one that wanted to follow a crowd and do certain things that I knew were not right. So when my mentor reached out to me, she was actually my English teacher. And she pulled me to the side one day because I called myself, saying a couple choice words, a couple colorful words. And she was one of those old school Southern,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like your grandma when your grandma's not there,
Mm-hmm.
those type. And she pulled me to the side and she said, let me tell you something. If I hear you talk like that in front of me again, we're going to have a problem. And
Ooh.
I'm going to talk to your mom and I'm going to tell her what me and you discussed.
Mm-hmm.
And I was okay. And for some reason, she just put me in the mind of my grandmother and of my family member. And I just started talking to her and we started having conversations after school and before school. I can remember wanting to go to school early in the morning so I can talk to Miss Costner and just have a conversation with her and just, let her know what was going on in the changes that I was making. So she was just one of the people that really took me in and fostered me and created what you see in front of you today.
I love that. And shout out to Miss Costner
Yes.
because honestly, I had a teacher who was very similar, who like took me under her wing. It wasn't something that I was seeking. I was in third grade, so hello. Like, it's just something about those teachers and just
Yes.
how they come in. And I love how you said, like, it just felt familial. Like, she felt like a family member. She felt like someone who you could be safe with, right? And
Yes.
tell things to and share things with. So I love that. And I love that in turn now you get to be that for the kids that you encounter, that you speak to, who look up to you. I just love that. I love mentorship so much. And I love that it could come from so many different areas and so many different places.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So going back to you as a girl, because I'm just like, all right, let's understand Mallory as a girl. So you
Yes.
said a few things, even when talking about Miss Costner, about you following other people and like kind of falling into a interesting crowd, let's say.
Mm-hmm.
So where did that experience land you when you were following them? Where did that take you, and how did you ultimately get out of it? I know that was two questions, but um,
No,
where
you're
did that,
good.
you know?
You're absolutely good. So it was good in the beginning. Me and Miss Costner, she stayed with me until I graduated from high school. And I felt like when I graduated from high school, I was like, okay, what do I do now? Because I can't see Miss Costner every day. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do. So it was something where I in turn had to take her tips and just take her with me in spirit and say, oh, okay, well, she taught me how to do this. I'm gonna apply this to this and I'm gonna just make it work.
Mm,
Of course, being a young 18-year-old, 17-year-old out here and trying to just figure out life by myself, I then followed the wrong crowd yet again. And I actually landed myself in a bit of legal trouble. And it was, me wanting to do the whole fighting thing. I went through this whole tough girl stage, and I don't really know like why and how.
mhm,
I would say that it was just my environment. Again, we were in a disenfranchised neighborhood. It wasn't the best, but everyone knew everyone, and it was somewhere where it was home, and I was familiar with it. I didn't see beauty queens every day. I didn't see certain things every single day. So it's either, you pick this road or you pick that road, but there's no in between. And so when I found myself in the legal woes that I was in and I was fighting, um, I said, "Oh, okay. Now I'm following down a path that I know is not right. Like I can hear my mentor in my mind, like and just understand the disappointment." So when I went through the juvenile system and the justice system, there was actually a magistrate that pulled me to the side and was like, "What are you doing?" And I'm like, oh, I'm trying to be tough. I think I don't really know. I just want to fit in. And she said, well, I'm gonna tell you what, this is not where you want to be. This is not you. This is not, who you are. You're better than this. And she was like, I can tell you are. She said, your mom is here. At the time my boyfriend was there. And they were just like, she was like, you're better than this, and I don't ever want to see you in this spectrum ever again. I was able to get out of my legal troubles, and I then went to another mentor, which her name is Miss Jacqueline Crawford, which I absolutely still adore and still talk to this day. She kind of took me under her wing, and she, not only just me, it was children in the neighborhood in general. Like, she was just the neighborhood mom. And she would tell us and just instill in us how great we were, and how you're made for more than your environment. And so I took that and I just kind of ran with it. And I said, I am better than this. I am better than, my circumstances, and I want to do better. And
Mm-hmm.
so, of course, I went back to the world of pageantry, and it kind of just, I want to say it kind of saved my life, to be cliche, but not really, because I had the opportunity to work with different organizations and see different forms of community service and do that kind of thing. So it was just that whole 360 to me, where you get into some trouble, you got to get yourself out of some trouble,
Right. Right.
and you really just learn from your mistakes. So I say that trial in my life was really something that not only catapulted me to where I am today, and I'm forever grateful for that. I would never do it again, but
Right.
I'm definitely grateful for the learning experience, for sure.
Yeah. Oh, I'm glad that you were able to turn that into a motivator.
Yes.
Because some of our youth, and I know as a mentor and someone who sees children who come from environments that like we came from, who
Right.
end up going on a different path, even with people encouraging them and try to motivate them to get out of it. But I'm glad that you were able to turn that around, and I'm glad that you had someone like Miss Crawford who was telling you, listen, you are incredible. Like, you don't have to be a product of your environment. Like, you may have
Yes.
come from here, you may have experienced things here. It's a part of your story. Don't get me wrong. It's not like, oh, just
Right.
stay where you came from and go somewhere else. Like, no, like these places are a part of our stories. But I'm glad that you were able to transform it into something that helped you to be better. And even thinking about when you were going through that experience, if you could have been the mentor to you, like
Hmm.
if you were walking into a space right now, you saw a little Mallory in that situation, how would you have mentored her? What would you say to her? What would you encourage her with? How would you have mentored you out of that situation?
Oh, I think I would say the same thing that the magistrate told me. You are worth more. You are valued. You are loved. You are cared for. And if you don't have anyone that you feel like that portrays that to you, I will be that for you. And I tell my youth that all the time, because I see so much that goes on with our kids, and so much that goes on. I hate when people stigmatize our children and they put the at risk on them, and
Oh,
they're at risk teens and they're bad children. No, they're not. They're
no.
not bad. It's just the circumstances that they're in. So I would definitely tell my younger self, like, first
Mhm.
of all, you know better. Second of all, your grandma gonna find out.
Ooh, and that's the part. That's the
And
one that'll get you right. 'Cause my grandma?
your
No.
grandma gonna find out. And third, like, just think, like, this is not where you want to be. This is not the path that you want to go down. You are valued. And I try to tell my youth that all the time, because I want them to see what we as mentors see in them, the
Mm,
value of themselves,
mm,
and to let them know that, look, we've been down that road and it's okay. But you can always reel it back in.
mhm.
Always reel it back in. And that's the most important thing.
Yeah. And what do you say to your mentees if you have experienced a mentee like this, or if you experience a mentee like this in the future who pushes back? You know, because not all, you know, we talk about mentorship and we say like we encourage them and, you know, they took this message to heart and like everything
Right.
changed. But then you have those ones who are like, all right, sis, you just chatting. Okay, listen, I'm from New York, so they'd be like, you capping, sis. You don't know about me. You don't know where I've been. And I'm just like, oh, hold on. But what do you say to them who kind of are like, they've been through so much rejection. They've been
Yeah.
through people promising to be there who haven't been there for them, or they go home to a household that tells them you're not going to be anything else. I don't care what nobody tells you. Like, how do you get through to them? Because I think those are the ones who, for me, always pull on my heart the most.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I have been through that. I have seen it. I have gone to a mentorship session and I've had one child just completely just not be bothered with me, like not even like make eye contact, not speak, not anything. And I'm like you, I'm kind of drawn to that person
Yes, I'm
because
like, okay,
I'm
I'm
like,
gonna figure it out.
right, I'm gonna crack this
I'm
shell.
gonna
Like, what
figure
are we
it
gonna
out.
do? So I had that happen to me, and I'm like, okay, I pulled that child to the side and I'm just having conversation. And I'm like, where do you see yourself in the next couple years? And she told me that she wanted to start a business. And I said, well, that's awesome. I said, well, I'm a business owner. I said, so I would love for you to intern with me and I can show you the ropes of how to not only start a business, but how to be successful.
I
And she
love
was like, well, I don't think that I can do that. And I'm like, well, why not? And she was like, well, the business that I want to start, I don't think it'll be lucrative. I said, no, 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 no.
Mm-mm.
Don't you're never going to go into it with that kind of mindset. We're going to go into it as a positive mindset.
Yeah,
We're going to speak these fruitions out. You know, we're going to say it out there. We're going to say it out loud. We're going to be successful. We're going to be millionaires. All the good stuff. So to me, that is the challenge, because I know that's how I was. I know I was that person, and I know I was that, you know, very resilient, try to be tough, and, you know, you're not going to get to me with your positive words. But in the back of my mind and in the back of my heart, I'm like, I just want you to listen to me. I want you to, you know, have a conversation with me. So I think that is, I draw from all of my kids, but I ain't backing down from a challenge. Like,
hello.
and it you know, our kids, again, like we can't back down from them, because I think that the disconnect between us and our youth is that sometimes we forget that we were once their age as well, and we forget that they have a lot more on them than what we did. Of course, we're millennials, but again, this new generation is tough with all they have so much access, like
Yes.
right at the tip of their fingers and their
They
hands, and it's
they are
scary
consistently connected to each other. So if they're
each and
getting
every time.
bullied, if they're getting you know, just negative word, like it's at their fingertips 24/7. There's no
Right, right,
yeah.
right. So I feel like that we have to continue to keep that dialogue open with them. We have to continue to pour into them. I don't care how corny it is. I'm going to check in on you. I was a mentor with the Big Brothers Big Sisters of Greater Charlotte, and to this day my mentee still calls me and she said, you know, that your auntie, like, I don't care, like, you're gonna forever be auntie. And I'm like, okay, is auntie like a step above aunt? Like, because I feel a little
Right.
cool. So
You're like, hold on.
I'm like, wait a minute, is it like not too old but not too young,
Right.
but like right there, like in the sweet spot? So I think that just continuing to have that conversation with our kids, because again, like, even as a parent, it's tough out here for these kids. Like, it's real, it really is. And we think that they don't go through things, and we think that they are, you know, they don't have trials and tribulations, and they do. And in fact, that they have more for like going on with them than we ever had. So just staying in tune with them, and, you know, like I said, I'm not backing down from a challenge. I love when they bruh, you know, what's up, bruh? And I'm like, wait a minute, not
Hold
bruh.
on.
Like, calm
Hold
down.
on now.
But, you know, just breaking that shell and just calming that child down and just, you know, again, seeing myself in that child and saying, like, God, I used to be like that. Like,
Mhm.
Lord, if I know if I know how it was, like, you know, if I
Yes.
could see in the future,
Right.
Lord, I would have done stuff so different.
Right, right. And I think this is important too, that we're having this conversation. And I really wanted to talk to you, to talk to the younger Mallory, or talk to that girl who may be watching,
Yes.
that can glean from what you're saying because you've been in that position. But I also love that you're talking to the adults. Hello, because we're
Yes.
the ones who are impacting them as well. And sometimes, like you said, we forget. And we may block out, not even on purpose. Sometimes it's just
Right.
that we've lived different phases of life at this point. So there's these little pieces of us from elementary school, from high school, our teenage life that we forget.
Right.
But you know, it's just important for us to listen. And I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to adult children relationships. You have to be willing to listen.
Listen.
And the
Absolutely.
kids want to know that they're being listened to. And
Mm-hmm.
I know even at my school that I teach, one of the big things, a part of our schooling, is that we give kids the why. Because I think a big part of why a lot of kids kind of like go off, or they become rebellious, or they're just like is because they don't know the why. And adults have this, you know, our parents and our grandparents was just very much like, because I said so. And
Because I right.
yes, but also like, I don't understand why you're saying so. Like, you know, of course you don't have to go into heavy details, but I think that why is
Mm-hmm.
so important. And I even think is so, you know, something that just came back to me thinking about what you've said so far too, is talking about your mom, how she was supportive and loving, and you came from a home where you had a parent who wanted to pour into you. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes even with that, you still need that other person who you
Right.
can who you can get advice from, who you can feel relates to you, because sometimes our parents are a little too close to us.
Yeah.
And when we're younger, we're like, oh man, you don't know what I'm going through, you don't know what I'm talking about. um so for that girl who's watching right now, who
Mm-hmm.
may have someone talking to her, who may have like someone encouraging her, but she's listening to you and she's like, okay, I'm open to hear what this lady has to say. Like, I see her, I hear where she came from, and now she's a pageant queen and she has a business and a family, and like she's come out of the mud, so to speak. Um,
Mm-hmm.
what advice would you give her to just overcome the things that people are placing on her? How does she navigate that, and how does she look forward to a hopeful future, even though at this moment that may not be what she's seeing?
I would say to her just simply, I have been there and I get it and I understand. I had someone tell me, you'll never amount to anything. You'll just be a product of your environment. You know, you'll be pregnant before you're 19 years old. I mean, all the statistics, I had them written all over my face. But prove yourself wrong. Prove everybody around you wrong. The only person you need to show validation to, the only person you need to impress is the person that's looking at you, the reflection in the mirror. There are going to be days where you are going to question every single thing that you do, everything. And let me be the first to tell you that it is okay. It's okay. It's okay to reach out to someone else besides your parents, besides your friend, beside a family member. It's all right to get to someone and say, "Hey, I just need a little bit of positivity." 1 in 3 kids in America will grow up without a positive role model, and that's
Mm,
a scary statistic because
that
again, these kids go through so much. There's so much negativity from the things we see on Instagram, the news, the just day to day. It's rough out here in these streets. I
mhm,
get it. I
mhm,
understand, and it's only getting worse. So my thing is, you can always reach out to me. I am on social media platforms. I speak to parents. I speak to kids. I share my story. And again, it wasn't always for me. It wasn't always, you know, glitter and pageantry and everything is so cool and amazing. Like you said, I got it out the mud too. I was raised in a single parent household, grew up in the hood of the hood. Food stamps, government assistance was something that we not only lived by, but it was a means of survival, so to speak. So there are no circumstances that will stand in your way. You are the only person that can stand in your way. So if you are out there and you are questioning every single thing you have going on, have those questions, have those feels, but also reach out to someone, because as a mentor, you know, we don't judge. We've been there. We have passed.
Yeah.
I just want to see our youth win. I really, really do, because you guys are our future. And as corny as that sounds, you are I call them our future leaders.
Yeah.
I talk to kids that tell me, you know, I want to be a therapist. I want to be a basketball player. I want to, you know, be a nail technician. And I say, you don't want to be, you are. You are a basketball player. You are a therapist.
Yeah.
You are a nail tech.
You're already there.
You're already there. So just continue to just talk that positivity. And if people say, "Oh, you lame for that," that bruh, that's stupid. That's, you know, child, I can't tell you how many times people told me how lame pageantry was.
Okay.
But pageantry has opened up a lot of doors for me. Trust and believe. And that is something that I will always, always value. I will always continue to, again, fight for fair justice for not only our kids, but for these mentor programs. I am always holding our legislation and our government officials accountable. I don't care what part of the political party you're in, whether you're Democrat or Republican. If you are representing us as American people, I feel like our children should be represented as well. That is the whole premise. So know that there are people like myself and Shannon out there that we're on your side. We're, you know, I know it seems tough and we don't know your struggle because, you know, we just woke up and one day we were just magically adults. But we used to think that way too, I think.
Yeah. No, for sure.
Like you don't know. You ain't never been 16.
You never a kid like me. Like what?
You were never 17. I was like, yes, I was. It had to be 2004. Like, but I'm telling you, like and then a thing about it is technology is such an amazing thing. I don't have to be in your state. I can be wherever and be your mentor. Like I said, I have a mentee now that calls me on the regular in college. She's an adult, so to speak. But I am so honored that I'm still a part of her life and I'm still that person that she looks up to. And it makes me blush all the time because I'm like, me? Like, just me? But this is something I'm so passionate about. Like these kids, you don't realize, like, I wish you would see the potential that we see in you, because you guys you're so much more, you're so much better than anything you have going on. And if you don't believe in yourself, I'm gonna make you believe in yourself.
Because we're gonna show it to you
every single day.
It's in there. And I feel like I just wish sometimes that we could just hold up, like just take the images that we have of them out of our brain and just be like, this is you.
Right.
Like, you know, because you see, even from young ages, you can see the talent, the gifting, the anointing that a lot of these young people have. And I'm like,
absolutely,
if you understand, like these things that you think are important, they're not gonna even matter. Like, I know, because that was a big thing for me as a teenager, even in college. Like the things that were happening, I thought were just the biggest thing. Like I could never come out of that space. This is who I'm always gonna be seen as. And it is just such a lie. Like it's not even 5% of your entire like being and who you're gonna evolve into.
Absolutely. Like these kids, they don't understand. Nobody's gonna care about that rumor.
Nobody cares.
Nobody cares about how Dante was dating Tiara back in the day.
Lord,
like
nobody cares.
I mean, we'll talk about it once we get older, and we'll be like, oh my God, y'all remember that? Like, That is so unimportant. Like, and I know it's very important right now in your
Right,
life. I
right,
get it. Like, we're not downplaying
right.
anything, but it's just this is my thing about this generation, and it scares me that this generation, again, with the technology that they have at their fingertips,
Mhm.
the anger that they have for one another sometimes is scary to me. um the just blatant, just whatever about life. Like, it's just
Mhm.
like, I heard a kid say, I live fast and I die young, and I'm like, no,
Hold
you
on.
don't. Like, no,
What are you saying?
you want to live slowly, and you
Yes,
want to die very old, like
yes.
99. Like,
But
you
that's
don't.
that influence of the things that they see. Like it sounds good.
Yeah,
It
like, it sounds
sounds cool.
amazing.
But it's like no, like these and your words have power and you are declaring things over your life that you don't even fully understand or
You don't
actually
even
want.
understand.
Because when
Mhm.
you really think about what you're saying in that phrase, like there's no level of enjoyment there. There's
No.
no level of processing what you're actually experiencing, you're feeling, the things that you're, the good days, even those challenging days that build character. You're just
Right.
bypassing that with a live fast. How are
Right.
you
It's
gonna
like,
settle
I'm
into
like,
who you are?
no, you don't want to allow yourself, like,
Oh,
you want to savor every moment, you want to
yes.
cherish every moment, you want to grow old and find a partner and have
Mhm,
children, or
mhm,
if that's not your route, you want to travel the world, you want to,
mhm.
enjoy experiences. That's not the mentality, because that is a very final, that's it. Like, once you're unalived, it's
It
not
is.
Fortnite. You can't, you
Yes.
can't bring yourself back to
I
life.
think like some of our youth really think through the
Hmm.
lens of video games. Like as
Right.
sophomoric as that sounds, like even my kindergartners, because I teach kindergarten and first graders, they just see it as so like in the game
Whatever.
you just die. Like, yeah, whatever. Like, no, it's not a
No.
whatever. Like, no, that's not how this works in real life. Like, I
Like,
don't want you to think this way. It's
right.
so
It is. It's really scary. So I tell the kids all the time, like, that is, you really have to speak positivity over your life. I don't care how weird it feels. I don't care how you I never want you to feel like that's how you want to be remembered.
bad.
Because that is such a final thing. And I've seen so many mothers, so many dads, so many family members lose children, and that pain and that hurt is something that I never want to experience, like,
Mhm.
ever in my life. So our choices are very important. Our choices are, they can be very final.
Mhm.
So I tell my kids all the time, think about, in that moment, think about that reaction. Think about the next step, because that is the ultimate destination.
Mhm.
And sometimes that destination can lead you into a lot of trouble. I know when I found myself in trouble, I questioned myself all the time. I was like, why did you do that? Like, what made you, get to that point? What made you so angry? Like, what if it could have been worse than what it was? So that's why I tell the kids all the time, when I, like, the first time I meet them and the first time I talk to them, and I tell them, like, would you ever would have thought that I would have had a mugshot? And then they're like, mugshot, what do you mean? And I'm
Right.
like, yeah, like,
Mhm.
that was me. That was me at 17 years old with a mugshot. You never want to go back, because I can't erase that, but I can take the steps and let other kids know and let other youth know that, hey, this is not the route that you want to go down. Although that was my path, and I did choose the better half of that path. You just want to just make wiser choices, and that's the name of the game. Like, you really really want to make wiser choices with every aspect of your life. um do do what makes you happy, but also do what makes a difference as well. Like,
Mhm.
you want to be that leader, you want to be that person that makes a difference. School might not be your thing. Go into trade.
Mhm.
Start a business. There are so many businesses out there. There are so many avenues that you can take.
Yeah.
But just think about the whole picture of everything. And once you sit and think about it, you be like, "Ooh,
Yeah.
that's some realness."
Yeah. Yeah, it's so much bigger than the little piece of the story that you see right now. It's
Right.
so much bigger.
Right.
And they're attached to so much more than they can even imagine. And I'm just so thankful. And on behalf of the mentees that you have and will have, and the mentees who you've seen come and go, I just thank you for your work and your passion and your advocacy and your fighting for them, because some of our children don't have anyone who's willing to fight for them. They don't have anyone who's willing to listen to their very valid thoughts and feelings, like, so for you to be doing the work that you do and be a mother, right? Because a lot of times people who work with the youth, it's like you go out there and you fight for other people's kids, but then you have your own kids that you're constantly fighting for, fighting with,
Right.
fighting, like all the things. But it's just something so special about it.
Right.
And I just love that you have been impacted by amazing mentors who have made a lasting impression on your life, and now you get to go and be a mentor that leaves lasting impressions on these other youth's lives. So I just thank you on behalf of them. If no one else ever thanks you, I thank
Oh.
you, because it's not easy. And working with the youth and seeing when they're going through challenges, when they go through fights and depression and all of the things that comes with their lives and their stories, it's not always easy when you're someone who cares so deeply and can
Right.
feel them so deeply, and who has gone through similar situations, and what they feel in that moment, but just wanting so badly to shake them and be like, you don't have to be this person. You don't have to be no stereotype that anybody puts on you, any labels. You don't have to live in the narrative that other people try to write for you. And
Absolutely.
that's one big thing that I'm so passionate about. Like, you get to rewrite your story
Absolutely.
every single day. And I related so much to you when you talked about the statistics that people put on you, because I grew up in the South Bronx,
Hmm.
disenfranchised area. Nothing good comes from here. My mom was a teenage mom. I lived in a single parent house, like all of those things. And people, same as they said to you, oh, you're never going to leave here. You're never going to do this. You're never going to do that. Anything that I said I ever wanted to do, it was always often met with, no, take, like, lower your standard, because look at where you're coming from and look at who, whatever. Listen, I, it's funny to me now, because I'm like, some people told me I would never leave where I'm from. And technically I did it, because I came back to be a teacher. But because it's so vitally important to me to be able to be in the classroom, to teach. I literally pass my childhood neighborhood every day to drive into work. And
Wow.
for me, it's not something that I take lightly, that I get to have experienced all of these things that I've experienced and walk into my classroom and teach little me's every day. It's just something so different. Um,
Right.
so I'm just like so incredibly thankful for individuals like you who feel that same passion, and pour into our youth in that way. So we have been having such a great conversation, and I'm so thankful. Thank you for sharing your story with us. Thank you for sharing why mentorship is so important to you. My mom always taught me, and I tell everybody this when they share things with me. She said, no matter if someone shares a little thing with you or a big thing, you always thank them. So just thank you for taking the time to talk to us. And before we end out, Basic is my baby, my budding nonprofit, as I like to call her, because she's still in her little,
She
she
gonna
gonna
be
bloom.
big.
But BASIC is an acronym, and it stands for beautifully abnormal in spite of intense criticism. Because a lot of us come from environments where people critique us down to the smallest thing. They
Yeah.
just look at where we came from, who we came from, all the things. But I want to encourage our young ladies to just be their authentic self.
Right.
And be themselves so that they can attract things that are meant for them. So, with all that you have experienced, all that you've gone through, all that you will experience, the goals that you have for yourself, how do you remain authentically you? And how do you bring that into all of the spaces that you're in? How do you remain basic?
I just have to always remember where I came from. Like, I remember where I grew up, like you said before. I'm from a small town here in North Carolina. Gastonia, North Carolina was where I was born and raised. Um, it was very humble beginnings, and I never take it lightly. And I always tell myself, no matter what I have going on, what title I have going on, it's never too big for me to go back home and pour into everyone that I need to pour into. So I always tell people, just staying humble, always willing to serve, always being a servant leader, always wanting to have a spirit of gratitude. um I am so forever grateful. Like you were telling me you're grateful for me, I am grateful for you, because you are, again, like you said before, you go into a classroom each and every day and teach little people that look like you and of every diverse background. So that is something that is so important. So always connecting with people like you and platforms such as Basic. I love this like this is amazing. It is something that we really, really need. And it is something that not only is an amazing, like you said, it's budding, but it is going to blow up so big, because again, I can tell the kind of person you are and the heart that you have, and the service that you have in your heart that you want to share with everyone. That is so important, and we need more people like you. So from my family and all the way from North Carolina, thank you for being a teacher. That is such a thankless job. Like, I really feel like you guys, I'm a mentor and I only get a little piece of what you guys get. um yeah. So I tell people the way that I am just truly basic is that I just try to stay humble. Like I really, really am. I think I'm like I'm the most humble person that you can meet. I'm always willing to serve. I'm always willing to work. I love volunteering. I love community service. I love my community. Like I said, I live in Charlotte, but I'm from Gastonia, and I don't mind taking the drive to do whatever I need to do to serve whoever I need to serve. Like, that is just something that I absolutely love. And I don't do it because, people always say, oh, you're going to get blessed. And I thank you, but I'm doing it because that's what you're supposed to do. I do it because, it's we have to kill the status quo of there's no good people in the world, because there are good people.
Yeah.
And Shannon, you're one of them. Like, you are, you are amazing. So that's just how I stay basic, for sure. Like, I always try to stay humble. I have an attitude of gratitude. I'm very grateful for each and every opportunity that I have. And again, like, I am so fortunate that I've had the opportunity to work with organizations like Big Brothers Big Sisters of America, here in Charlotte, in Gastonia, the Distinguished Youth Enrichment Program, DYEP, 100 Black Men of Charlotte. Like, I can go on and list all of them, but it's people like that can just honestly pour into our kids, because again, that's just what they need. And I'm so forever grateful to have the opportunity, not just to serve as Miss Black International Ambassador, because it does have its own perks, but to wear the crown and the sash, and just to amplify my voice, and just say, hey, this is me. I want to be heard. This is what I have to say. Because I feel like sometimes us beauty queens get, the stigma of, y'all are just pretty and you just stomp around in dresses.
Oh.
And I said, can I tell you the last time I really got
to hello?
It's been a while. It's been like 6 months. So I haven't had on a gown in a long time.
Yes, it's always boots to the ground, serving. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
That's a
like,
whole conversation in
I'm
itself.
like, that's only like 10% of what I get to do. Like,
Right.
that's not all the time. So again, Shannon, thank you for your platform. It is something that is needed. It is something that is going to just be amazing, not only to youth, but I feel like to parents as well. To just have that kind of this conversation with people such as myself, and just let people know that we all go through things, we all have past, but it's like you said, we get to get up every day, we get to rewrite our story, so we
Yeah.
should just be grateful for that every single day.
Yes.
So I just want to just thank you as a mom and as a wife and all that good stuff. Like, girl, you got a whole, you got your little accolades too. So but that is just something that like I said, I am so proud of you.
Thank
I
you.
love your spirit. Like you, I see Basic going very, very far. And I,
Ooh,
for
my heart,
one,
my heart,
I,
like,
I for one am here for it. Anytime you need me,
thank
just a
you.
call away, girl. And
Thank
plus, I've been wanting to come back to New York.
Listen,
Listen.
we are here, okay? It's about to be, it's a little cold right now, so I wouldn't
Y'all
even.
can keep that because we just now getting into
Yeah.
spring and
Yeah.
we loving it down here.
Listen, I said I thought spring started. I don't know what's going on. We had a week of spring before spring, and now it's just been winter cold. So I don't know what's going on. But when it gets warmer,
Yeah, invite me when it get a little warm, okay?
yes, I'll let you. Mallory, thank you so
Thank
much.
you. Thank
Thank
you
you
so
for
much.
being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for pouring into me. Like, I'm just like, oh my God. And like when you're one of those people who love to encourage and pour into others, I'm just like, oh, you're so great. You're so
Oh
amazing.
my God. I just get, I'm just like, oh my God. I'm
Right?
the one that is like,
I'm like, oh God, what do I do?
I start blushing. I'm like, oh my God. Like,
What do I do here? But I'm just so thankful, and I'm so blessed to have you as a part of my village, as a part of someone who I can call on, and I don't take it lightly at all. So thank you
oh,
for being here. And you did say that people can reach out to you, so just tell the people your information, your socials, maybe your email. How can they get in contact?
absolutely. You guys can reach out to me anytime. I love speaking to every single one. I read all DMs, every single thing. Listen, I'm never too big to read a DM. Like when somebody DM, I think it's like the best thing in the world. So I am on Facebook as Mallory Foxx, just like it is spelled in the tag. I am on Instagram. It is mrs.malloryfox. You can also see me on the MBIA website, and that is MBIA Pageants on Instagram as well as on Facebook. Oh gosh, we do have a lot of social media.
I was like, ooh, a few pages.
Lord, follow me on all social media platforms. I know I had a mentee ask me one day, she said, how can I tell my mom about you? And I said, oh, just tell her to Google me.
Right. Google me, darling. I'm
Google
there.
me. And I said, oh my God. Look, I said, not let me say it like that. I was like,
Right.
no, just tell her just to Google me
But it's like,
because I'll come up.
I'm
Like,
there. You can find me.
but yeah, you can find me. You can ask me anything about pageantry. You can ask me anything about mentorship. You can ask me how to get involved in mentorship. All that good stuff. I am an open book. Trust me. I don't care. I've been asked every question from how much do you make a year to,
Listen.
how do I get started in pageants? So I am an open book. You can go ahead and ask me. Now, I probably won't answer the question about my salary, but
But you can ask.
you can always ask. There's no such thing as a dumb question, but I'm gonna be like, yeah, no.
Talk
We're
about
gonna,
something different.
yeah.
Oh, Mallory, thank you. Thank you for being available. Thank you for sharing your information. And y'all actually reach out to her because she's open and she wants to talk to you.
Yes, reach out to me, honey. Just listen, reach out to me anytime. But shit, I have had a ball. I have me back anytime.
Oh my
I'm
gosh. Yes.
available.
Listen, I will have you back. The ideas and the things are just going and flowing up here.
Let
But
me know.
so much. So basic babes, that was the beautiful Mrs. Mallory Foxx. I'm just so thankful that we had the opportunity to speak to her today, ask her a few questions, and I will definitely be having her back for something else, whatever the Lord downloads into me to do for basic. But like she said, reach out to her if you have any questions, comments, concerns, and also make sure you drop down in the comments below. What did you take away from this conversation? What did you love about this conversation? Is there anything else that you want to know or something that just stood out to you? Drop it in our comments below so we can continue the conversation there. So this was your basically an at-risk youth, and we got to talk about what that means and how Mrs. Mallory Foxx dispelled that stereotype, honey, because hello, she is bigger than that and she shows us each and every day. So I just thank her for her time. And until next time, basic babes, stay beautiful and we'll see you soon. Bye.